Hi, I'm Victoria Rose. I'm co-founder of Rawrz Toys.
And I'm Sidenblad, also co-founder of Rawrz Toys.
And when Ann and I met at Cinderbiter, actually she had seen some of my drawings and post-its all around the studio, and she thought, wow, those would make a really great toy. And I was like, actually, I really want to make toys. And she's like, well, I can do the modeling part. Do you want to give me some artwork? And thus Rawrz Toys was born.
They're small but fierce little toys, so we thought Rawrz Toys was the perfect name for them. So we started by going to small fairs, maker fairs. There's all these ones that Victoria puts out and she's like, I hope this one doesn't sell today because it's my favorite, and then it'll sell.
The way that we start out making Rawrz Toys is I design a sketch, and then it's really good. I hand it over to Ann.
And I take it into the computer and 3D model it. And oftentimes I'm inspired by her sketches, and there's like some areas left to interpretation. So I try and take similar lines that we've used in our characters and apply it to our new animals. So that way there's a consistency between them all. As a 3D modeler, the most important thing is the results and how good they look. So I went with the Form 1 because it has really great results for the price. Some of the big machines are just only big companies can afford them. So this is great for the home user to be able to kind of get into the technology and start playing with it. So this is a resin-based printer. What you do is you fill the bottom here with resin, and a laser shoots from the bottom and does each layer, and as that laser cures each layer, the platform raises up. So it's sort of reverse of how you normally 3D print things. The printer also comes with this tray, which is a cleaning station for it. It has a little bath of alcohol, so when the toy comes out, it's still covered in the liquid resin. So you want to clean it off by soaking it in here for a few minutes, and then you can do all of your other finished cleaning, scrape it off the build platform and everything right here, which kind of contains the stickiness. Support structure that the preform builds tries to create tiny connection points with the model so that they're easily snapped off.
Here today is my casting and molding workstation. Here you can see that I've started making a mold. We place the toy in the center, and then we're going to create a box and fill that with silicone. Once it's complete, this is what the finished mold looks like. This will get cut open and we'll inject liquid plastic, and that's how our toys are made. I wonder what the world did with that hot glue. The bottom plate acts as the reservoir. When we pull it out of the mold, we pull this piece out first, then we pull the top off and the bottom, and then we have a perfectly cast octopus. So you can see that I've mixed the Sorta Clear together with its catalyst, and in the act of stirring I've actually created a lot of air bubbles in the silicone. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it in a vac chamber. Put it inside your chamber. You make sure that you've got a good seal along the edge. The vac chamber will actually suck that air out and leave your silicone bubble free. So all of our air has been introduced back into the chamber. You can see that although there are still some bubbles, these bubbles will dissipate on their own and the mold will be bubble free. The reason I prefer to use Sorta Clear over anything else is that it actually is so clear that you can see where you're cutting and make sure that you get a nice clean cut, and then also when casting you can see if you have air bubbles or not. And by cutting a jagged line like this, what I'm doing is I'm creating an edge for the mold to piece back together nicely. If you cut a straight line, it would just kind of pull away from itself and not hold itself. Now we've moved over to the painting and resin casting workstation, and this is where the painting magic happens, so to speak. The blue, for the classic blue for the whale, and then some purples are really popular, as well as I do a rub and buff gold or antique bronze to convert into some steampunk later. Basically, we would rubber band these, and then once they're rubber banded, we would mix up 2 parts of liquid plastic, 50-50, and then we would take a syringe, fill it carefully, put it into the injection spot that we've made on the syringe, and then very slowly inject into our molds. So this is a pressure pot. We've actually taken a $100 pot for paint from Harbor Freight and converted it into a resin casting pressure chamber. So you put the air valve on, and then it fills the chamber with air, or PSI, pounds of pressure. What that does is it puts a ton of pressure on top of the resin molds, forcing the air to come out, and then you have bubble-free, clean castings. Inside is a nicely cast Rawrz toy. So you remove the rubber bands and the excess plastic, and then very carefully loosen the molds, and then out is going to pop a little octopus. Once they're spray painted, we hand paint all the little details and nuances.
Then we have a really great time customizing as well. So we have a watermelon octopus that we've done. We've done some superhero octopuses and whales and zombies, just any kind of theme that we can come up with. And of course our classic accessory is the donuts for the narwhale horns, because they were meant to be together. But I'm also looking for other food items that I can make.
We're clearly motivated by food.
Yeah.
Seeing as how ice cream, donuts, cupcakes, I'm sensing a theme.
Yeah.
There's a lot of love and time that goes into the process of making each individual toy, and so you can see how much of the process truly is handcrafted and special to us.